So some say fitness is contagious. Mm-hmm. Do you agree with that statement?
Yeah, I mean, it becomes a lifestyle. If you give yourself 2 weeks to adapt to a routine, it really becomes a lifestyle. And the endorphins and the hormonal release that you get with a fitness program is something that becomes very contagious and very addictive in a positive way. So if people just give it a chance and don't do too much too soon and take gradual little increments of increased intensity, then they have a much better chance of making it a lifelong activity. But definitely I would say it is addicting.
Okay. So if that's the case, do you think that, would you say that obesity could be addictive as well?
Well, I think it's a lifestyle. Again, simply as a matter of fact, you take in more calories than you burn up, you're going to be in a negative energy balance and your body's going to store that. And so as our society has become less and less active and more sedentary, and our nutrition, if you sort of say, has gotten worse with all the fast food and the additives and things like that. You can see it's a combination for disaster. So I think it's the lifestyle that's addictive. It's a lot of time that change is really tough.
So we know obesity to be an epidemic in the U.S. today. Mm-hmm. So with that being the case, do you think the U.S. government should do more with our taxpayer dollars to combat this issue?
One thing that I've always had a problem with as a professional in the field is that the first thing that gets eliminated from junior highs and high schools is a physical education program. Mm-hmm. Are you kidding me? I mean, everything else that's been added, but you take that out of the schools, it would seem to me more now than ever that you need to have a quality physical education program. And it needs to be, not just from a mechanical standpoint of getting them out there and working out, but educating them too. So I just think if we're going to do something intervention-wise with the government, it should be through education and getting physical education back into the schools so we can make this a part of a lifestyle. So it's part of their everyday academic routine to have 45 minutes to an hour of PE that they're not getting now. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Next question. Research has shown that over the past 3 decades, portion sizes have increased steadily, not only in the homes, but also as far as fast food places, as far as really anywhere you go to eat. Portion sizes have kind of increased steadily over the past 3 decades. So in your professional opinion, how much does this particular trend contribute to this epidemic of obesity?
Well, I think it certainly has probably a part in it. And the young generation, when I say you, one of my favorite little quotes and things that you guys use, it's all about choices. Mm-hmm. And again, it's choices, but the choices are a lot harder when that's presented to you. We've got the supersize this and supersize that, but it's the individual choice, that makes that happen. So it's tough because if you look at portion control, it's relative to how much energy you're expending. If you look back in the 1800s when 95% of the workforce was manpower in this country, I'm sure they had huge portions of food just to accommodate the caloric expenditure of the day. And so now if the food's not as good, it's not as wholesome, and we have maybe even bigger portions and a lot less activity, that's where the problem is. But back to the question, it certainly is a lot harder. Think about how your Thanksgiving break was. All that good food and everything around there, it's tough when the food's around there and you're probably going to indulge a little bit. So if you go into a fast food restaurant and they're supersized this and that, you're probably going to be a little more tempted to indulge, but it's an individual choice. Mm-hmm. Definitely comes down to choices.
Okay. As a healthcare professional or a health professional, what do you think is probably the best tool as a community that can be implemented to help encourage people to live more healthy lives?
Well, I just think it sounds like cliché-ish, but it's education. It's understanding how your body works and the lifestyle changes that you need to make. And it could be simply if you're sitting in an office all day taking the stairs instead of the elevator, taking a walk after work, getting involved in a local gym. It's just got to be a lifestyle modification. It's not so much, the calories are going to be there, whether you use them or burn them is completely up to you. So you can certainly be a lot more conscious with the choices you make nutritionally, and that's where education comes in, but also educate yourself of what physical activity is. It doesn't have to be something extravagant. A walk with a dog is physical activity. Splitting firewood, bringing in groceries. It's just any little way that you can increase your activity level to burn up calories.
Okay. So kind of a follow-up question then, with our age group in specific, so adults to, adults, mm-hmm. basically beyond adult years, because, a lot of research and a lot of, I think what you're agreeing with is saying that, the biggest change can come if we kind of start these things in youth and educate them as youth. But what can we do as adults to kind of change the atmosphere, the attitude about fitness, about living healthy lifestyles, and to kind of decrease that whole obesity thing that we're dealing with as adults in?
Well, there's a couple things, and I don't want to get off topic too much, but I really think that society and media in general has done a very poor job of portraying to us what physical fitness looks like. Physical fitness comes in all different shapes and sizes. You can't look at a magazine or a TV show and say, well, that's what physical fitness looks like. We're genetically predispositioned to have a certain body type, and all we can do is take that plan that we individually have and work the best results with it when we can. So I think the first thing is not comparing yourself to what the media says is a picture of health or fitness, but understanding physical fitness comes in all different shapes and sizes. And once we get past that and we get over the body image thing, then it's just a matter of getting to work, starting to exercise. And again, it all comes down to education, and it's very simple. And we teach that in the classes here, and the kids are surprised. I say, hey, if this was complex, someone like me couldn't be teaching it. But here, it's simply this. You're trying to do something resistance training wise, because resistance training keeps your bone density, joint flexibility, muscle tone, really gives you a great quality of life and much more efficiency. Cardiovascular endurance, we all know the benefits of that as far as burning calories and your cardiovascular health. Good nutrition, good rest, hydration, all those things, if you just put them together and simply make it part of your lifestyle, it just becomes a way of life rather than something that's forced upon you.
Okay, so just a couple more questions here. This is the second to last question I'm going to ask you here. So, scenarioly, I'm a person, and not necessarily a HSU student, but just in the health profession in general. I'm a person that comes to you as a health professional. I'm an obese person, someone who's obviously not someone who enjoys a high level activity every day. What is it that you would tell me in me wanting first to come to you and say that I've got a problem? Mm-hmm. What is it that you would tell me or kind of help me to input or start with, kind of get myself going in the right direction?
Well, I'd congratulate you for coming and realizing that you need to get busy doing something, and I think that you explain in a very positive way all the benefits. And once you get the benefits in your mind, how easy is it? You're not going to come out and run a marathon the first day or do some weightlifting competition. It's just gradual increments of resistance that your body adapts to, and you become more efficient and stronger and more fit every day. But it's got to be a starting point. There's got to be a starting point. And it might be just simply coming in and introducing them to the elliptical machine and getting them on the elliptical machine for 5 minutes at the lowest intensity and doing some basic strength training movements and just saying that's it. And then they'll be surprised, well, that's it. No, that's it. And we'll build upon this. So the first thing is, getting started, realizing that it's not overcomplicated. And I think a mistake people make is they do too much too soon. They come in and they're going to undo in the next 2 weeks what it's taken 10 or 15 years to occur. So I think just laying out a long-term goal and taking small steps to achieve that goal is the biggest component of you being successful with this.
Okay. So last question here. Kind of off topic a little bit. I think it's kind of almost common knowledge that you're a highly sought after prospect for what you do in your profession. So what is it that keeps you here at Humboldt State?
I fell in love with Humboldt State in graduate school back in '89 and '90, and I feel fortunate. And it might sound corny and cliches, but I always feel like you have a calling in life, and I felt like that my calling is here at Humboldt, and I feel blessed to have interactions with people and take my passion for strength and conditioning and health and fitness and hopefully make that part of other people's lives and make a difference in their lives too. So I'm the lucky one to feel that I'm here in this great environment and getting to work with a very diverse group of people, individuals, whether it's the freshmen in the dorms, the all-conference athlete, or the over 60s person that comes